You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 11th of November. Deadly explosion in India's capital kills at least 8. Authorities tighten security. PM Modi visits Bhutan, highlights deep-rooted relations. And Pakistan's law minister tables 27th Amendment bill amid uproar in opposition. And now for all the details. Following the deadly car explosion near Delhi's historic Red Fort that claimed at least 8 lives, security has been tightened across the capital and nearby regions remain on high alert. We have a report.
Following a deadly explosion near India's historic Red Fort in the capital New Delhi, that killed at least 8 people and left several others injured, authorities have tightened security across the city, while several nearby regions remain on high alert. Speaking from Bhutan on Tuesday, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi vowed that those behind the deadly car explosion in Delhi would be brought to justice, assuring that the government is taking the attack very seriously.
इस घटना की जांच में जुटी सभी एजेंसियों के साथ, सभी महत्वपूर्ण लोगों के साथ संपर्क में था, विचार विमर्श चलता था, जानकारियों के तार जोड़े जा रहे थे। हमारी एजेंसियां इस षड्यंत्र की तह तक जाएगी। इसके पीछे के षड्यंत्रकारियों को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
On Tuesday, grief-stricken families of those killed in the deadly car blast mourned the loss of their loved ones.
लाल किले वाले केस में ही उसकी मौत हुई है। जी, वो बैटरी रिक्शा चलाता था, उस टाइम पर वो वहीं से गुजर रहा था जिस टाइम पर वो कांड हुआ है।
Earlier, Union Home Minister Amit Shah said that all possibilities were being explored and promised a thorough investigation into the incident.
आज शाम करीब 7 बजे दिल्ली में लाल किले के पास सुभाष मार्ग ट्रैफिक सिग्नल पर I-20 हुंडई गाड़ी में एक ब्लास्ट हुआ है। ब्लास्ट के कारण आसपास की कुछ गाड़ियां और कुछ मार्ग पर जा रहे लोग भी इंजर्ड होने के समाचार हैं। प्राथमिक सूचना जो मिली है उसमें कुछ लोग हताहत भी हुए हैं। हम सभी संभावनाओं को तराश रहे हैं और सभी संभावनाओं को ध्यान में रखकर इसकी गहन जांच की जाएगी। सभी ऑप्शन की तुरंत जांच होकर नतीजा जो आएगा जांच हम जनता के सामने रखेंगे।
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Bhutan on Tuesday for a 2-day visit, during which he will attend several official programs and participate in the Global Peace Prayer Festival organized by the Royal Government of Bhutan. PM Modi will also attend the 70th birthday anniversary celebration of the country's 4th king. Addressing a gathering, PM Modi announced the connection of Gilifu and Samse to India's vast railway network, noting that upon completion, this project will significantly improve access for Bhutanese industries and farmers to India's large market. Emphasizing the deep-rooted partnership between the two countries, he highlighted the cultural and spiritual connections between the two nations. The Prime Minister also noted the significance of shared values and heritage. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced on Tuesday that India will soon construct an integrated immigration checkpoint near the border town of Gilifu, Bhutan, to further ease the movement of visitors and investors between the two countries.
भारत में हमारे पुरखों की प्रेरणा है वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, यानी पूरा विश्व एक परिवार है। हम कहते हैं सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, यानी इस धरती पर सभी सुखी रहें। अपनी इन्हीं भावनाओं के साथ भारत भी आज भूटान के इस ग्लोबल पीस प्रेयर फेस्टिवल में शामिल हुआ है। आज दुनिया भर से आए संत एक साथ विश्व शांति की प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं और उसमें 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की प्रार्थनाएं भी शामिल है।
And hints of a major trade breakthrough have emerged between the United States and India. US President Donald Trump has said that both countries are moving closer to finalizing a new trade agreement that could reshape one of the world's fastest growing economic partnerships. During the swearing-in ceremony of Sergio Gore, the new US ambassador to India, President Donald Trump said that the two countries are pretty close to sealing a deal that would benefit both sides. Speaking to reporters after the ceremony, President Trump hinted that the United States would eventually lower tariffs on Indian imports, especially as India has significantly reduced its purchases of Russian oil. The remarks come after months of steady negotiations between both nations. The proposed agreement, first initiated in February 2025, aims to more than double the current trade volume from $191 billion to $500 billion by 2030. 5 rounds of negotiations have already taken place this year, with both sides targeting a first phase agreement by the end of 2025.
You know, we're making a deal with India, a much different deal than we had in the past. So right now they don't love me, but they'll love us again. We're getting a fair deal, just a fair trade deal. We had pretty unfair trade deals. They're very good negotiators, Sergio, so you have to take a look at that, if you would, please. But we're getting close, Scott. I think we're pretty close to doing a deal that's good for everybody, right? The tariffs are very high on India because of the Russian oil, and they've stopped doing the Russian oil. It's been reduced very substantially. Yeah, we're going to be bringing the tariffs down.
What kind of levels are we talking about here?
I mean, at some point we're going to be bringing them down.
And in Pakistan's largest city, Karachi, economic hardship is deepening. With rising unemployment, inflation, and a lack of job opportunities for educated youth, social distress is growing. JDC Foundation's General Secretary Syed Zafar Abbas has expressed grave concern over the worsening situation, calling it a humanitarian and national crisis. We have a report.
In an interview, JDC's General Secretary Syed Zafar Abbas painted a bleak picture of Pakistan's current economic and social conditions. He highlighted how thousands of educated young people are graduating every year, but have no jobs waiting for them. He has expressed grave concern over the worsening situation, calling it a humanitarian and national crisis.
कि आपके शहर की कराची की सबसे बड़ी जामिया जहाँ पे 45,000 बच्चा पढ़ रहा है, जब वो पढ़ के निकल रहा है, आप सोचें कि सेमेस्टर की फ़ीस 75,000, 1.5 लाख, 2 लाख रुपए कैसे फैमिलीज़ देती हैं जब उसके बाद वो बच्चा 3 साल 4 साल में पढ़ के निकल रहा है, उसके लिए नौकरी नहीं है। जब आप उसको 25,000 रुपये की नौकरी की ऑफ़र करते हो कोई प्राइवेट इदारा, तो वो कहता है इतना तो मेरा मोटरसाइकिल का फ्यूल लग जाएगा।
Abbas warned that the economic crisis is forcing educated youth into depression, petty crime, and even suicide. He said the country is witnessing a rise in mental health issues and heart diseases among the young, all because of unemployment and hopelessness.
खुदकुशी का लेवल देखें, स्नैचिंग का लेवल देखें, छीना झपटी देखें, नफ्सियाती मरीज देखें। अगर आप किडनी हार्ट के अस्पताल जाइए तो हर दूसरा मरीज जवान लड़का है। क्यों नहीं आया होगा उसको हार्ट अटैक, जब वो मैट्रिक क्लास से, नर्सरी क्लास से पढ़ता हुआ आ रहा था, पोजीशन ले रहा है, क्लास 1, 2, 3, मैट्रिक, फर्स्ट ईयर, ग्रेजुएशन, मास्टर्स, गोल्ड मेडल ले रहा है। उसके बाद उसके लिए तनख्वाह वाली नौकरी जो है वो 20,000 रुपए की है।
Comparing wages in Pakistan with those abroad, Abbas said that an illiterate worker abroad can earn more in one day than an educated Pakistani does in months. He criticized the government for ignoring the suffering of the middle and lower class, pointing out that electricity bills exceed family incomes and school fees that are impossible to afford.
कब तक होगा ये सब? मैं ये समझता हूँ वक्त करीब है कि अब लोग अपने घरों से निकलेंगे, दुकानों में जाएंगे, आटा चोरी करेंगे, दाल चोरी करेंगे, बोलेंगे हमारी वीडियो बनाओ सीसीटीवी में, हमारे बच्चे भूखे हैं।
Abbas urged the government to offer affordable loans, support small businesses, and reduce the cost of living. For now, the situation in Pakistan remains grim. With inflation, unemployment, and poverty rising, many fear that Pakistan's social fabric is being pushed to its limits.
Pakistan's Law Minister Azam Nazir Tarar tabled the bill for the 27th constitutional amendment in the National Assembly on Tuesday, a day after the Senate approved it amid strong opposition protests. The controversial amendment seeks to reform the judiciary and strengthen the military command structure, introducing a new post of Chief Justice of Defence Forces and establishing a federal constitutional court, which will significantly weaken the power of the Supreme Court. Afrasiab Khattak, a former senator of Pakistan, denounced constitutional amendments to the Pakistani constitution. In a post on X, he said, "Welcome to the militarized constitution 2025, passed by an unelected parliament." The Senate passed the bill swiftly on November 10, 2025, following a boycott by opposition lawmakers. As of now, it awaits final approval from the National Assembly.
Now announce the result of voting. 64 members are in favor of the motion. Regarding passage of the bill and none against it. So the motion is carried by the votes of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the Senate, and consequently the bill stands passed.
And at least 14 fishermen from India's Mailaduthurai in Tamil Nadu have been arrested by the Sri Lankan Navy for allegedly crossing the maritime border near the Northern Sea region, reports suggested. The fishermen, who had set sail from a port in Mailaduthurai, were intercepted and taken into custody. They were later moved to a naval camp and are expected to be handed over to the Jaffna Fisheries Department authorities. Tamil Nadu CM M.K. Stalin on Monday urged the centre to take immediate steps to get them freed. This comes days after 35 fishermen, including 31 from Tamil Nadu and 4 from Puducherry, were arrested near Rameshwaram and sent to judicial custody following interrogation. With this, a total of 64 fishermen from Ramanathapuram, Nagapattinam and Mailaduthurai districts have been arrested by Sri Lankan authorities since September. Indian fishermen have long been a topic of tension between India and Sri Lanka, with local fishing communities urging stronger diplomatic efforts to secure their safety and livelihood. The arrests from both sides frequently stray into each other's territory while netting their catch and ending up spending years in jail. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.